Hello and welcome back to my channel. It is of no surprise that I would be covering this novelization next. I have here Alien Resurrection by Anne Crispin, better known as A.C. Crispin. The movie was directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet, I think I pronounced that right, and the novelization was based on the motion picture written by Joss Whedon. Crispin marked herself out in the novelization world with the V miniseries in 1984, followed by numerous Star Trek tie-ins. My first introduction to her was with the Han Solo trilogy written in 1997, which told the story of Han Solo right up until prior to him meeting Luke and Obi-Wan at Mos Eisley Cantina. Sadly, in 2013, Crispin died far too early of cancer, just aged 63. Alien Resurrection marks the first time an Alien novelization is not written by Alan Dean Foster. This is due to his upset at the handling of Alien 3's story several years earlier. Not only that, many fans were also upset by the outcome also. Those who have watched my Alien 3 review will know that I found the third Alien movie a daring and brave step in the right direction, even though it backfired for the studio. It offered an unexpected, darker movie. I mean, what did people expect? Ripley to marry Hicks, adopt Newt and travel the galaxy, blasting aliens and live happily ever after? Or worse, some long drawn-out Disney Plus series with Newt picking up from where Ripley left off. Oh, spare me. Anyway, the studio was desperate, grasping at a way to relaunch the franchise and give us Alien Resurrection. I bought this book initially to complete my collection so I would own all 4 novelizations. I was not impressed with the 4th movie. I felt it had ran out of ideas, with the cloned Ripley story being far-fetched. I disliked the forced Joss Whedon one-liner humour, which works fine for things like Buffy, but not for the Alien franchise. And the final third act with the mewling white toddler alien known as the Newborn. Looking at the back cover, some may notice that there's a reference there to Fury 361, which is an error on part of the publisher Warner Books, as this number was changed to 161 during the shooting of Alien 3, which is something they obviously failed to pick up on. So, what of the novelization? Well, dear viewers, despite my reservations, I was pleasantly surprised and enjoyed it more than I thought I would.
Wow!
It has some added content and some neat ideas which were well executed by Anne Crispin. I will start with some added scenes and changes, bearing in mind that the Quadrilogy DVD Blu-ray set includes Junet's director's cut, which restores many of the scenes featured in the book. This includes the opening scene with the mosquito, though the pilot is actually the character of Di Stefano and not an unknown character like he is in the movie. Due to Anne Crispin being sent an early draft of the movie, the Origa is in the book referred to as a space station rather than the spaceship that we see in the final movie. A further mosquito scene is also featured, with it biting Ripley and drinking her blood only to shrivel up burning from the inside out because of her acidic blood. This little scene was dropped due to budget limits. In the book, the clone of Ripley also had small dorsal fins on her back, which were explained later that they were surgically removed. There is plenty of extra connecting dialogue, including a conversation between Ripley and Call, where Call refers to her information sources on the aliens coming from written accounts by the surviving prisoner Morse from Fury 161. Crispin also adds that the character of Purvis has a low thyroid count, which is the reason why it prevents his chestburster from maturing at the same rate as the other crew members. Also, the scene towards the end of the movie where the newborn attacks the Queen. In the novelization, the newborn instead eats the Queen's body after decapitating her, rather than just kill her outright like it does in the movie. In the novelization, Jonna is portrayed as being petrified of the aliens and often shakes with fear when he sees them. and this is in comparison to his more bravado stance that you see in the movie. Reading the newborn's death, which lasts for about nearly 2 pages, was pretty gruesome. The idea of slowly being sucked out into space via a small hole in the hull was an idea first mooted in an early draft of Alien. A character named Melkonis, which was later then rewritten as Lambert, was to die in the same way, but was dropped for budget reasons. But perhaps most interestingly of all, the novelization features a point-of-view narrative of the aliens themselves. Most notably, a single alien warrior, who is the one that is teased and punished by Gediman when it was held captive, as well as a point of view from the Queen and the newborn itself. I think this is the first novel to provide this sort of point of view, and although I do know that a few future tie-ins do add this aspect. This makes for a more interesting and engaging read, adding an extra dimension to the story and in many ways improves on the film. You also get a greater sense that the character of Ripley is most definitely not her, and instead that of a hybrid clone. Something which is perhaps not as obvious in the movie as it comes across in the book. This clone has some recollection of her memories due to the alien's ability to genetically inherit them. Whilst it seems single cells storing neurological memories seems far-fetched beyond the realism of science, written on behalf of Joss Whedon, the novelization runs with the idea well, providing a better experience in book form after watching the movie. So in conclusion, this book is better than the movie. If you didn't enjoy the movie, you may still get much from reading. You might still get something from the reading the novelization, maybe you won't. But if you're like me and didn't really mind it too much, or even if you enjoyed it, then I do thoroughly recommend reading it. Again, thanks for watching, and remember to like, subscribe, and even share online if you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you, and back soon.